Dr. Frieden, a second nurse affected with Ebola took a flight to Cleveland after she registered a fever. We have reports that says she contacted the CDC and was told she could fly. Did she in fact call the CDC and ask for guidance on boarding a commercial flight, as far as you know?
My understanding is that she did contact CDC, and we discussed with her report of symptoms as well as other evaluation.
Were you part of that conversation?
No, I was not.
Okay. Was there a pre-plan suggesting limiting her contacts with other persons?
The protocol for movement and monitoring of people potentially exposed to Ebola identifies as high risk someone who did not wear appropriate personal protective equipment during the time they cared for a patient with Ebola.
Well, let me ask you this then. What specifically did she tell you? Now, we know Mr. Duncan's medical team was under the same observation and was not under the same observation travel restrictions as people he came into contact with. So what specifically did she tell you her symptoms were, or what was happening?
I have not seen the transcript of the conversation. My understanding is that she reported no symptoms to us.
All right. Let me ask another question here quickly. With regard to the new patient being transferred to NIH, will people who come into contact with her be under any travel restrictions? Dr. Fauci, perhaps you know that. I know.
Well,
Dr.
According to the guidelines, that the people who will be coming into contact with her will be physicians, nurses, and others who will be in personal protective equipment, and therefore they are not restricted.
Why is she being transferred to NIH and away from Texas?
To give the state-of-the-art care in a containment facility of highly trained individuals that are capable of taking care of her.
Has her condition deteriorated or improved?
No, it's not. I have not seen the patient yet. I will when she gets here, but at this point, from the report that we're getting from our colleagues in Dallas, is that her condition is stable and she seems to be doing reasonably well. But I have to verify that myself when my team goes over.
And if other people come to Dallas or somewhere else, will they also be transferred to NIH?
We have a limited capacity of beds of being able to do this type of high-level care in containment. Our total right now is 2 beds. She will occupy one of them.
Thank you. Dr. Frieden, when we spoke on the phone the other day, you remained opposed to travel restrictions because, in your words, you said cutting commercial ties would hurt these fledgling democracies. Now, is this the opinion of CDC? Is this your opinion, or does someone also advise you, someone within the administration, someone, any other agencies? Where did this opinion come from that's of high importance?
My sole concern is to protect Americans. We can do that by continuing to take the steps we're taking here, as well as...
Did someone advise you on that? Someone else outside of yourself? Somebody else advised you that that's a position we need to protect fledgling democracies?
My recollection of that conversation is that that discussion was in the context of our ability to stop the epidemic at the source.
Well, but we can get supplies and medical personnel into the Ebola hot zones, and so stopping planes, and I've heard you say this on multiple occasions, that we have 1,000+ persons per week coming to the United States from hot zones. Am I correct on that? Coming from those areas?
There are approximately 100 to 150 per day.
Per day, okay. Now, I mean, the Duncan case has seriously impacted Dallas and northern Ohio, but what I don't understand, if the administration insists on bringing Ebola cases into the United States, clearly you've determined how many Ebola infection cases the U.S. public can handle. I mean, we heard NIH can handle 2 of these beds. Do you know that number overall in this country, how many we can handle?
Our goal is for no patients with
I understand,
Ebola
but as long as we don't restrict travel and we're not quarantining people and we're not limiting their travel, we still have a risk. And so these issues of surveillance and containment, I don't understand. And this is the question the American public is asking. Why are we still allowing folks to come over here, and why, once they're over here, is there no quarantine?
Our fundamental mission is to protect Americans. Right now, we're able to track everyone who comes in.
But you're not stopping them from being around other people, Doctor. I understand that, and I have a high respect for you, but my concern is the American people says, but even so, they're not limited from travel. They're not quarantined for 21 days because they can still show up as symptoms. They can still bypass all the questions that Mr. Wagner referred to in the thermometers on there. So, and this is what happened with the nurse who went to Cleveland. So I'm concerned here, is this going to be your maintaining position of the administration that there will be no travel restrictions.
We will consider any options to better protect Americans.